Hello, welcome to this your channel of the better Eurofan. That's me. It seemed Apollo was recovering little by little their path in the competition somehow, but then they suffered another flop. The entry presented by Luna during last year's contest seemed truly promising, interesting and groundbreaking, but both the staging and the vocal performance she had during her live performance played against her, resulting in her disqualification by placing 12th in her semifinal. Despite the setback suffered, the Slavic country moves forward with its participation, looking for amending the mistakes committed and then be among the finalists once again. For this, we will see who will be the artist in charge of following her steps, a well-known face in the contest for many, by having the mission of waving the Polish colors in Basel. Let's go! For today's episode, I'm going to review the Polish entry for Eurovision 2025, which will be represented by singer Justyna Steczkowska with the song Gaja. With an extensive musical career on her back and being an established artist in her country, now she will have the chance to step again the Eurovision stage after many years. Without further delay, let's move on with the review. First of all, let's check out her biography and career before reliving the Eurovision experience, this time on Swiss. Justyna Maria Steczkowska is a Polish singer, songwriter, violinist, photographer, and actress coming from the city of Rzeszów, located in southeastern Poland, living part of her childhood in the city of Stalowa Wola, and currently living in her hometown. She has been linked to music since several. Her father was a music teacher and an orchestra director, which would influence eventually in her development of her skills since very early age, in particular with classical singing and violin, by also participating both in musical performances in her school and in choral groups, standing out as a performer as well, eventually getting herself quite known for being one of the few female singers that has a 4-octave vocal range. She will be singing in jazz and rock bands in the early 90s until a key event will happen in her performing career. She will start to get widely noticed in 1994 after winning the very first edition of the known talent show Songs and Success, and also that same year she will be awarded as the Best New Artist during her participation at the Reno Opole Festival. In the boom of her sudden popularity as a singer, she will be internally selected by the Polish Public Broadcaster the following year to represent the country at the Eurovision in the edition that will be held in Dublin, Ireland. She will participate with the song Sama, which in English translates as Alone, with which she will get the 18th place in the final ranking. Despite the result achieved, she will remain decided to prepare the foundations of a promising musical career. In fact, shortly after her first appearance at Eurovision, she will participate at Baltic Song Festival by also representing her country, with which she will get the victory in that competition. After that period of participations in several musical competitions and festivals, she will sign a record deal with a world-renowned record label, then starting to work in her debut studio album. It will be officially released in early 1996 by starting her career as a musical artist, achieving sales success and widespread recognition in the Polish musical scene by her vocal quality and artistic. The following year, in 1997, she will release her second studio album, which also went quite successful, consolidating herself as an established artist in her country. Shortly after her two first releases, Justyna will make her first incursions as an actress, first by getting a secondary role in the Polish action film Billboard, and later by getting a leading role in the Polish drama film titled Na Koniec Świata, which in English translates as The End of the World, in which she also composed the soundtrack and being released as a promotional album as well. In 2000, she releases her third studio album by resuming her singing and songwriting phase. The following year, she would release a collaborative album with the actor and singer Paweł Deluk, which however did not have a commercial success as expected, and then later making incursions as a musical theater actress. During 2002, she releases her fourth studio album as a soloist, with broad references to Jewish culture by singing for the very first time in Middle Eastern languages like Hebrew and Aramaic. And sometime later in 2004, she releases her fifth studio album, which featured mostly covers performed by her from big artists like Marilyn Monroe, Edith Piaf, or Marlene Dietrich. That same year, she would return in some way to the talent show where everything started for her as a musical artist, by participating as a judge in the edition of the Eurosong Contest, being the first of many occasions in which she would assume that role. And during the following 2 years, she will participate as a singer in diversity of special musical concerts by all over Poland. In 2007, she releases her 6th studio album as a soloist, with brand new songs that proved to be successful in the musical charts of the country. That same year, she will still have more incursions in television by participating in Miss Poland pageant as a guest performer, and in the 6th season of the Polish version of the dancing contest Dancing with the Stars as a contestant, placing as the runner-up at the end of the season. She will start to get roles as a host the following year by being the co-host of the 3rd and last season of the Polish version of the dancing contest Dancing on Ice, and shortly after she would release her 7th studio album in a more children-dedicated production, which compiles several lullabies written by her from her children since she became a mother. The sales for the album were donated to a charity organization, which will be the beginning of many charity works in which she will be directly involved. In 2009, she releases her 8th studio album, which will promote with a promotional concert broadcasted live on the internet, being the first Polish artist on doing. And throughout that same year and the following one, she will be quite busy as well, after being invited to many television shows and charity concerts. And if it was not enough, she also has been exploring her facet as a photographer by starting to organize photography exhibitions as well. Her second collaborative album, this time with the singer Maciej Malensiuk, will be released during 2011, which included a set of songs from an old Polish television series named Cabaret Starship Panov, which in English translates as Elderly Gentleman's Cabaret. And she will release her 9th studio album as a soloist the following year, being a collection of her greatest hits today with brand new arrangements, including some unedited tracks in the trip-hop genre in double disc format. While she was still organizing photography exhibitions, she will participate as a coach in 2013 in the 2nd season of the Polish version of The Voice, role that she will reprise in future seasons. She will release her 10th studio album that same year, that will be the follow-up of her first children-dedicated production from 5 years ago. And she will release her 11th studio album the following year by incorporating a much more mystic character with orchestra arrangements, which will promote with an extensive tour nationwide. Justyna will keep experimenting with other musical genres in the following years. In 2015, she releases her 3rd collaborative album, this time with the Serbian musician Boban Markovic, with tracks oriented to Gypsy and Balkan culture, which will promote in the following 2 years with different gypsy ensembles. And further on in 2019, she will release her 12th studio album with a musical production much more oriented to operatic pop. She will be performing in diversity of musical concerts nationwide during that same year and the following one, and even she started to make incursions in fashion design as well, by creating a clothing collection for girls branded as Anima by Justyna Steczkowska, matching with the title of her studio album from 6 years ago. After the relaxing of the restrictions due to the COVID-19 pandemic in 2021, she will resume her musical activity more intensely by performing in several musical festivals and charity concerts as well. Then she will release her 13th studio album the following year, getting back to her origins with pop-rock-oriented tracks. And in 2023, she will release her 14th studio album as a homage to the Polish poetry singer Ewa Demarczyk, which featured covers of many songs of her musical repertoire. In her personal life, Justyna is married with the Polish architect and model Maciej Miszkowski since 25 years ago, having 3 children together. On the other hand, besides her artistic facet, that she has not done everything yet, she has done several photo shoots throughout the years, which will inspire her incursions into the world of photography somehow, by appearing in several covers, and she also has been featured in many advertising campaigns for both local and international brands. It is clear that Justyna has been very versatile throughout her career, always looking to play with different music styles instead of staying in just one musical genre, by receiving several awards and acknowledgements for her artistic career. And beyond her musical face, it is quite evident that she has done technically everything, and I think that at this point, there are not too many things left to try for Justyna. However, although it is true that she has been kept busy performing in stages throughout Poland and being involved in various projects, she has been considering returning to Eurovision for some time now. In fact, in late December of 2023, during the New Year's Eve concert aired by the Polish broadcaster, one of the opt-ins she has been featured, she released her single Justyna Steczkowska. She will take advantage of the occasion to send it during the submission period opened by the broadcaster that was searching both the artist and the song that would represent Poland at the contest during last year. But it was later revealed that her proposal placed second behind the one presented by Luna, who ended up being the Polish representative during the edition held in Malmö, Sweden, as we already know. Despite not having been chosen, she will still move forward with her professional projects, which were not too few. Towards the end of last year, she will participate as a judge in the 21st season of the Polish version of Your Face Sounds Familiar, and shortly after she will release her 15th studio album, titled like the song with which she attempted to represent Poland that year, being her most recent musical production to date, and that will be widely promoted with a promotional tour nationwide. Just from that same album, she will select another one of the tracks to attempt to represent Poland at Eurovision again, without imagining that this time she will have the chance to step on the contest stage again after 3 decades. Let's find out then how she will have her Eurovision experience for the second time. After recurring to the internal selection on the last edition, the Polish broadcaster will organize a national final again, which was named this time Wielki Final Polskiej Kwalifikacji, being translated in English as the grand finale of the Polish qualifications, to pick both the artist and the song that will represent the country in Switzerland. The submission period will be open in early November of last year for the Polish artists and songwriters who wanted to take part in the competition, closing it just 1 month later. After the deadline, it was known that 224 proposals were received, according to the broadcaster, that will go on a selection process divided in 2 phases. In the first phase, a 15-member expert panel formed by professionals for the broadcaster, journalists, and Eurovision fans will be in charge of reviewing the received proposals to make a list of 25 shortlisted artists. In the second phase, 20 of these shortlisted artists will advance to an audition phase to be held in early late December in the studios of the broadcaster, from which their artists, plus 2 backups, will be selected to compete in the national final. This will be announced in late mid-January, being Justyna among the selected artists, where it was also known that the singer Sarah James, known for being the Polish representative at Junior Eurovision 4 years ago during the edition held in Paris, France, have been selected but ended up withdrawing days before the official announcement of the contestants due to not feeling comfortable with the song chosen by the expert panel, being replaced by the singer Janusz Radek, who took her place as one of the backup artists, while the singer Theo, who did not have advanced to the audition phase, was granted a wild card for the broadcaster, thus becoming the 11th contestant. The televised show was aired on last week February, where the winner will be determined solely by the televote. We can imagine in this case that after all the controversy happened with Blanca's selection 2 years ago, the broadcaster opted to avoid problems by discarding the jury for the edition. After all the finalists had their chance to present their proposals, the voting results, which only revealed the percentage of the votes received by each finalist, proclaimed Justyna as the winner of the national final by getting almost the 40% of the votes registered, thus gaining, after 30 years of her first participation, the opportunity to represent Poland once again, this time on the main stage of Basel. From being allowed to embody Mother Earth, now we will see more in detail about this proposal with which Justyna will attend the contest once again, which had 2 versions this time. The original version of the track, which serves as the 5th and last single from her most recent studio album, was fully performed in Polish and had a shorter length. Thereafter, ahead of her participation in the national final, she will prepare a second bilingual version, enlarging it in addition to the mandatory 3 minutes. This version that will be heard during the contest is the one I'm going to analyze up next. Following the concept presented by her with her most recent studio album, the melody is a folktronica track, which makes the foundation for the powerful voice from Justyna that is intense throughout all the performance and accompanied as well by backing vocals that add depth and a certain epic character to the track. As I have commented before, the lyrics have been written in Polish and English by herself, together with a group of Polish songwriters with which she usually works in musical productions, and that casually have had experienced couple sing entries in both Junior Eurovision and Eurovision. It is the case of Dominik Wojciechowski and Patrick Humor, which have collaborated together in many Polish entries at Junior Eurovision, specifically Superhero, performed by Vicky Gabor, who ended up winning as hostess in the edition held in Gliwice in 2019. 2 years later with the song Somebody, performed by Sarah James during the edition held in Paris, France, and in 2023 with the song I Just Need a Friend, performed by Maja Krzyzewska during the edition held in Nice, France. And in 2020, they were also the composers of what it will be the Polish entry that will perform Alicia Sępinska, that in the senior edition that was going to be held in Rotterdam, Netherlands, before the cancellation of the edition due to the COVID-19 pandemic. In addition, Patrick was also involved with the Polish entry at the Junior Contest in 2018 with the song Anyone I Want to Be, performed by Roxana Bekier, who will get the very first Polish victory during the edition held in Minsk, Belarus. Talking about the context behind the lyrics, as it is suggested with the song's title, it refers to the embodiment of the earth and the Greek mythology, which is the goddess Gaia, converting in a symbol of strength and love as a way to represent that fusion between humanity and divinity, emphasizing our link with the nature. Justyna herself has described the contest with the track in this way: we are all connected and we have a direct influence between each other. I think that by widening our awareness, we will become little by little in a holistic society, which will be sensitive not only to our needs but also to the needs of the world around us. Reading the lyrics more in detail, previously translated at first, you can perceive that narration from her in the embodiment of Gaia, describing in a poetical way what the defined character she has and the suffering she is having due to the actions of the man of the planet, feeling herself betrayed and addressing her emotions to it, crying to the point to drown the world with her tears. This can be understood with the natural disasters that are much frequent, unfortunately. It is to stand out in this case that the song's author has a series of words that will be Slavic chants, which were believed to grant health, strength, and energy according to the Slavic tradition. Although this part is absent in the original version of the track, but at the same time having many resemblances with very similar chants included in the aforementioned song Which Tarot Horror, which served as the lead single of her latest solo album of the same name. Intended or not, the truth is that now both songs are related to each other, taking into account that they address the same topic on its own way. About the message, the track intends to make a wake-up call to the society about the lack of coexistence we have with our natural environment, actually. That is evidently reflected with the excessive industrialization and the depletion of the natural resources which contribute to climate change, as it is already seen with the different natural phenomena that are causing damages all over the world. After reviewing the track more in depth, let's see how was her live performance and Wielki Final Polish Kwalifikacji, which serves as the official music video for the proposal. The performance begins with the stage mostly in dark with a few spotlights while the song's intro is heard, and increasing the lightning when Justyna is about to perform the first verse. You can see initially that there is a lot of smoke over the stage floor while Justyna is performing, being joined by 3 male dancers and a female dancer that are performing a dynamic and somewhat energetic choreography around her, alternating by moments with shots of a violinist at the right side of the stage. The visual graphics are showing imagery from outer space, waterfalls, vortexes, and especially flames during the chorus, seeing also fire cones at the same time with these flames. All this while there are alternate shots of her with the dancers performing the different choreographies without losing her voice or her tuning in any moment. For the second verse, the same dynamic for the first verse is kept with different choreographies from the dancers, until the song's title appears during the second chorus, followed with flames seen once again in the visual graphics, and then she is seen with the dancers several spins around themselves, all this without losing her voice anytime, which I find is surprising because it is not easy to sing while you are dancing, and much more if you are spinning around a lot. During the reprise of the second chorus, which is more instrumental, Justyna is now seen performing a violin solo, whose musical instrument magically appeared from somewhere. As we know, is part of the magic of television, and just after finishing her solo, she continues to showcase power vocal while she approaches the front of the stage. By the bridge, now the violinist from the right side of the stage is heard singing chants, initially out of tune, although he recovers the tunes shortly after, while Justyna is now hanging from support cables that lift her up, in an unexpected turn in the performance. It is to stand out that these chants are not heard during the studio recording of the track, so we suppose that she will decide to incorporate them ahead of the live performance. Shortly after, she goes back down to resume the choreography together with the dancers, while the lighting is more dynamic and blinking, and with the song's outro, all the dancers join her in the front of the stage to perform a more energetic choreography, being then on their knees, which in fact it has very similar dance moves like in her live performances of her song Wichita Horo, then having her vocal extravaganza moment and twirling around herself at the same time with fire columns and flames in the visual graphics are seen. The performance then finishes with Justyna still showcasing her powerful voice, while the dancers gather around her and the song's title appears in the left screen at the bottom of the stage. Making a summary of the comments, the Polish entry for this year raises me a lot of doubts. I'm not questioning Justyna's skills as a performer and dancer. It is more than clear that all the experience she has acquired throughout her artistic career was not in vain. I can understand the message she wants to transmit with her proposal, which I see is good, but my main issue is that I just feel that the track is not saying anything to me despite its message. In fact, I do not see myself listening to the song frequently, and if we add to it the performance presented during the national final, which was too intense and overloaded in itself, it makes me feel more confused, so I'm not pretty sure how this is going to impact with the audience. On the other hand, Justyna's return to the contest settled quite a record, being in this case the artist that now has the longest gap between her participation in the contest, with 30 years of difference. Previously, that record was held by the Greek Cypriot singer Anna Bisi, with 24 years of difference between her two last participations, although representing two different countries, namely Cyprus and Greece. For the staging in Basel, it is not clear if she will recreate the exact same performance from the national final, or if she will make changes ahead of the contest. Honestly, I will say that if she wants to increase her possibilities to qualify to the grand final, I would recommend her to get a walk around of the stage. Sometimes less is more, especially if she intends to convey the message to the audience much probably. Currently, she is presenting her proposal live in the many Eurovision pre-parties of the season, although I'm sure that she must be doing more things at the same time, because this woman is just anything but still, and before making her last stop in Basel to set the contest stage for the second time. This has been the Polish proposal of this year for the contest. Now then, what opinion deserves to you in this case? Do you think that she will face difficulties to qualify now that she must have to compete in the semi-finals, or do you think that she will have it easy to make it to the grand final instead? Whatever is your opinion, let me know in the comments down below thus we can keep making discussion. And this is it for today's episode. Thus this video has been of your taste, then give a like so you can bring me your support and spread it among much more people. Subscribe to my channel, enable notifications by the bell to be aware of the upcoming reviews, and follow me through my social media. Take care and see you in the next episode. Bye bye.